To me, it felt like someone had died. Even though nobody died, it feels as if you just...
it feels like a sudden death. Yeah.
Before we get into today's episode, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Open Doors, Open Mind YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and on our other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook and now TikTok. Links to all will be in the description below.
One, 2, 3, 4. I should have done like... You're going to do a clap, were you? You did a clap as well.
I'm used to school.
And that's how a podcast should start, really. It's just because it should start with laughter, really.
And clapping.
Chelsea Jack's back in the building. And Scott, you all right?
I'm all right. You two all right?
I'm all right.
Yeah. It's been a few months.
It's been a while.
A long time.
It's been a while. We've got a different setup as well.
Different studio.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I know I made it look reasonably...
It looks the same.
Yeah. It's not the same as
But
you probably everybody work out. There's only 2 cameras now at the moment.
Don't tell people that.
I think they might work this out when there's not a wide shot.
Guess what?
Teapot.
Exactly. I got some stats for you. You ready for this, Scott?
Go on then.
Happy with this? Okay, so on TikTok,
Yes.
we have 35 videos on
Yes.
Shorts, okay?
Yep.
On the TikToks. And that equated to 23,234 views. Yeah?
Wow. Okay.
That's not too bad. All of them together. But one of them today has hit how high of a number, Scott?
Well, the last time I looked, it was at 80,000.
It's 100,000.
Wow. See.
I'm on a big man.
100,000. That is 76,766 more views than all the other videos combined. That is my stat for today. Do you like that? I had to work that out. I worked that out.
Did you work that out before
I had
you
to calculate every single view that we ever had on each video and then calculate it up and then...
When you was a school teacher, what did you teach?
Drama. Could you tell? Could you tell? Slightly dramatic, but that's pretty cool. Our first 100k video.
Yes, we're doing good.
Can I ask you a question about it?
Yeah.
So I always say to myself to not look at the comments and stuff like that. How did you feel? And this leads us straight into sort of your check-in as well, Scott. How did it make you feel reading positive and negative and indifferent comments?
I think if I'd done this a year ago and we'd hit that number, and obviously some of the comments that's on there, some obviously like really good, some are really positive, some are completely in the opposite direction. I think the negative ones would have messed with me a little bit more than like now. Same attitude as you kind of got used to it. You're not going to please everybody. Everyone has different opinions, but I can see how social media, with certain comments that have been put on there, other people have stuck up and said, no, it's each to every kid. But it could, if it kept going, I'm wondering what's going to come next, as in certain comments that's going to come and all the rest of it and past and all the bits and pieces other people know me from doing the doors and bits and pieces, that it's going to have a negative effect. But I'm going to do what you said. Don't bother reading them. Let somebody else read them and then we'll comment them.
Let them fight in the comments. That's the best bit. Fight. Chelsea Jack, how are you doing? It's been a while. I feel like the last 2-3 months, I don't know how much in depth you want to go into a conversation on this, but has been a lot for both of you in different reasons.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Chelsea, you can go first.
Go on, Chelsea.
Gosh. I just needed a little bit of time out. I've had a lot of personal health situations go on. Obviously, I was still decorating my house as well. And I had my last court date with my ex recently, so I had to kind of be a bit more supportive for my daughter. And yeah, it's just been a bit hard to get my head around certain things. And yeah.
But you're back in the room, and we've had some time off and stuff like that, and you haven't, there's been studio changes and all that sort of stuff. Probably coming at the right time. Are you feeling in a better space now because you're back in the room?
What, for podcasting?
Everything, just live.
I'll probably say no.
Yeah. Okay, why?
Okay, I'll go with what Dan Hill did. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 obviously being the best you could be, 1 being the worst, where would you put yourself right now?
I've been Probably on my worst recently.
Recently. We got you.
But you're back in the room with us.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Forward, that's the thing, like, obviously, I'm better, like, if I look at myself 2 years ago, I wouldn't have coped with all of this at all. So I give myself, like I always say, a praise of I'm still getting up and, you know, before I'd laze in bed for a week, I've went swimming with my kids, I've took them out, but always trying to be the better, strong person, it's very hard.
I mean, look at the progression you have. I mean, like you said, 2 years ago, you're sat on a podcast trying to help people while you feel you've been at your lowest.
I think the hardest thing that I've learned is that it was just quite a shock with the system, to be honest. I think that's the thing that I found the hardest, like, because I did think going through what I went through that I would have been heard, and I do feel like there's a lot of females out there with kids that still haven't been heard. Like, I mean, my court case was like, we had 3 different judges, so by the time I went to the end one, I don't feel like a lot of things were being looked at.
The same as different opinion, right?
But at the same time, going forward for my daughter, I feel like she's got the best result out of it. It's just for myself, I don't feel safe, and I think that's a really hard thing to get your head around. Is when you've got a system there that could make you safer, could prevent things, but they see it as because your mum and dad that you just need to kind of get on, which it's like not everyone needs to get on for a kid's sake. We can just kind of do our best for that child as long as we're not
co-parent without us being in the same place.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, kids adapt. Like, it's not like she's 15 and it's happening. She's 3, so she'll grow up and she'll see it for what it is, and she'll learn from
It'll be normal, right?
Yeah, because one thing I always agree on is I will never step on my daughter's, and I never will do it now. I will never step in front of my daughter and try and get her to think how I think. She's got her own mindset, so she needs to see the world for what it is, and she needs to choose her likes and dislikes. That's
it, yeah. Because then I think,
and that's just me as a person. My ways is to guide her to find her own person, not for me to make her be the person I want her to be. So I feel like sometimes I find that difficult because I have to put a lot of my...
You shouldn't, obviously. I think that's very strong, and there's so many parents that could take a good view of, because obviously I know there's certain things that have happened in the past between you and to take that approach when there's many mums out there that would just not allow it to happen. I think that's a very good approach.
I feel like I find it harder because obviously when you're trying to do your best, you do sometimes kick yourself and think, why is it the people that are not thinking it in that way kind of get more and get kind of praised for it, and it winds me up a little bit. But I'm trying to come to terms with it that at the end of the day, I do believe in purpose. I do believe in, like, you have to go down this road for a reason. So it might be the case that I'm having to learn something down the line from it, and we'll just see what
I think that also shows your daughter
time,
that you're a strong woman, and that...
I'll try and be.
But I don't mean this in a patronising way, but that shows to your daughter that you're a strong person. I know obviously it still affects you and everything like that, but obviously, and hopefully touch wood, she never ever has to go through certain things. But she knows she's got a mum that's in the corner and you're allowing, correct me if I'm wrong, your mental health, her mental health and how she deals with her dad you're there to support, even though it's chiseling away or knocked a bit of your own mental health, right?
Yeah, 100%. But I think,
that strong.
I didn't want to come on. I never ever wanted to come on this podcast and talk about that situation because, like I said, I don't want her to ever watch back and think, or even my son or anyone thinking that I'm gonna try, because I don't ever want to look like I'm being horrible or negative towards her dad. I just want to speak out and say I feel like the system could have looked at things a bit better and maybe put a bit more safety aspects in place for myself, but I don't feel like I was heard, and I think that's the hard bit. Because when you get courage to speak and you get told to kind of shut up, it's not nice.
No, but I think, as a friend, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And we got your back as well. So, and I know that we use social media ourselves to reach out to each other and talk on WhatsApp and Instagram and stuff like that, but never feel that you can't. Like, sometimes it's easier to just do a voice note and they listen to it than to have a conversation with someone. But if you're like, oh, can you call me or can you meet up? You already said that, you know, we might go bike riding. I'm trying to make you come and play tennis. So
that's another thing I'm struggling with as well, because obviously he's got every other weekend with my daughter, and
you don't know what to do.
I've gone from being constantly around them, planning my weekends around them, like, oh, whether that's to get a sitter or whether to go out and do something with them. And now I'm like, I just sit at home with so much to do because I'm decorating, but I'm just sat there like.
So you reach out because people don't know you're lonely in your own room.
I actually went, I think 2 Saturdays ago, I found it really hard. I literally just found the nearest field. I probably look like a homeless child, but I literally just led on the field, my hood up, and just cried for about a whole hour just looking at the sky, listening to meditation. And I think I just needed it. I needed to come to realisation of, because I do believe, like, when a lot of bad things happen to you, it's then you then look at everything else around you of what you're wanting to accept and what you're not wanting to accept in life. And I feel like I'm starting to come to, not just with that, but also other aspects I'm trying to look at and be like, do I want that? Is that actually giving me good energy, or is it just bringing me down, or is it making me question about my worth, myself? Like, am I bringing the best me into this world, or am I just settling because it's okay? So I think that's another thing I'm starting to question.
When you cry, we can always say, did you feel better? Because obviously,
Crying?
yeah. Did it help you at all?
I used to always try and not cry, but I feel like if your body's needing to let it out, you need to let it out, and then you can then sit down and look at what's the priority that you need to not so much fix, but manage first. That's how I deal with it now, because before I would just see all this mess and be like, oh God, I don't know what to do, and then just have a mental breakdown. As of now, I look and think, right, what is my priority right now, and who's it going to affect if I go ahead and do that thing now? So if it's going to affect my kids, then I need to rethink about how I deal with it.
I feel like there's a lot of stories in this room right now. I mean, Chelsea, all of our stories are probably completely different as well. No, it's true. And like, that's why I think it was quite nice that when we come together, because then we can kind of sort of say what's going on individually, because then we might be talking to someone out there who's feeling very similar to something happening. So, but like I said, we have your back. And if you need anything, you just ask us. And even if you need nothing, we'll just message you, like, are you all right? And you can be like, yeah, it's fine.
The best thing I've probably heard that might help you as well. Obviously, I don't know the full details of your situation, but the best thing I can say is everyone knows Darren Brown, and he said sometimes we feel we put pressure on ourselves because we don't differentiate the things we can control towards the things we can't control. And he goes, the only things we can control in life is how you treat others and how you look after yourself. You can't control, funny enough, you can't control 99.9% of things happening in the world. Once you realise the things you can control, which is obviously, like I just said, and you know how to do it, every day gets better, and you start to feel, you know what, I can't let it go, and then it gets easier. So just split your mind in half, left-hand side of the things you can control, and the right-hand side of the things you can't control. And as soon as I start to do that, I felt I had clarity on a lot of things. So that's good little tip.
On that note then, how you been since the last time you met?
Oh, yeah, you bastard. Very up and down, very up and down. I was probably hit with the hardest thing recently that I've ever experienced in the whole time I've been living, if I'm honest. It's been very tough. I left my old job, which I hated. I got a new job. I met some amazing friends, and like I said, I completed my 48-hour run. Felt on top of the world. Yeah, thank you. Done that. I was absolutely shot to bits afterwards. But I got through it. I knew I could do it. I'd done it. Was on cloud 9, and thought, I genuinely can do whatever I want now. And then out of the blue, I won't go into full detail because I feel like I'm not ready to say it, but I had to say goodbye to someone that was effectively my life, was effectively everything that I thought life was, and I had to say goodbye. So yeah, it's been a very tough 6-7 weeks. Some of my mates haven't seen me in this state, and what's weird is the feelings I've gone through are probably actually worse than when I lost my dad, because at 12 you don't have any like emotional sort of maturity or intelligence. You sort of go, oh, what? Well, I know it's upsetting, but like, you know, but at 27 and this has happened to me. It's the worst thing I've ever gone through at the moment. And dealing with that, it's like, oh, you know, what do I do? And again, like, I don't know if I mentioned on another podcast. Obviously, when I was told my dad died, within like 5-10 minutes, I was getting my uniform ready for school. And that's what I feel like I've had to do again. Within finding out the news and dealing with it, that's it. I went out and got my stuff ready for work the next day. Got my gym stuff ready and carried on as normal. And I had to. I can't look back. So that's it really. Trying to go forward, trying to deal with things. My mates have been amazing. It's been tough, but yeah, I just got to keep moving, haven't you?
So on that note, obviously me and you have had some private conversations. For the viewers at home, would you say time helps? Not that it cures it, but as in like certain conversations, I said, it's not like I could say to you, this is, you know, I've been where you are, and it feels like to me it felt like someone had died, even though nobody died. It feels as if
it feels like a sudden death. Yeah.
But as time has gone on, obviously I'm a lot further down on the journey kind of thing as we'd put it, but I found the busier I was, or the more distractions I had, and certain people you could talk to and just be open with. But each day, not even like you could say, the pain it just becomes a different manageable. Like as if you broke your hand. Yeah. The first minute you break your hand, it's but the pain's always there. But it ends up getting, is it normal? Stronger. But you end up being able to use the pain to focus. Yeah. And like, especially with what you're doing, you've changed your job. You know, your friends have been there. I think from listening to the conversations that me and you've had quite a good network around you. Oh yeah, I'm very fortunate to have quality and quantity when it comes to mates. But yeah, like you said, time is a great healer. And for me, it was like, you know, I was so scared of getting into bad habits. So what's that saying? You know, the devil makes work for idle hands. I couldn't sit there and just dwell on what's happened. Before you know it, like, you know, it's been 4 months. I've put on weight. You know, I'm not doing anything with my life. You know, I'm unhappy. So literally the day after, it just I had to do something. I had to keep busy, like you said. I didn't want to just sit and do nothing and ponder, right? And get, you know, more upset and become a mess. So, you know, I was my new job's strenuous. It's tough, but you know, I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to learn. So I was doing that, and I was getting home, and I was probably for the last 7 weeks, I've probably been doing 2.5-3 hours of training, of going to the gym for 3 hours a night, because I was making myself so exhausted that I could just go to bed straight away without overthinking. So I was making myself physically and mentally exhausted because I couldn't sleep. And now it's been 7 weeks and I'm still training 3 hours a night, 2.5-3 hours a night, because my body's used to that now. My mind's used to that now. I have to do it. I can't just sit in bed. I don't watch TV anymore. Do you think that helped? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, 100%. You know, like I spoke to an old, he's about mid-50s, I've known him a while, and he said when he went through some stuff, there wasn't any gyms around, you know, there were just a lot of pubs. But now there's gyms on every corner. I said, mate, you know what, like, I'm glad there's gyms everywhere, because I swear if I was in a different time and I just walked straight into a pub after what happened, mate, I don't think maybe I'd ever get out. Yeah, so, I think you'd have been, if you're doing 2-3 hours a night in the gym, you'd be doing 2-3 maybe hours, I'm not saying, but probably 2-3 hours in the pub after, right? Yeah. Is it a relationship that's failed, not someone's passed away? No. But it feels like that, you know. And but yeah, no, it's
very similar.
Yeah, I feel like when you lose relationships that are very close to you, you have to go through a feeling of grief, and it's more on yourself. It's all the grief of all the time, the effort, the love, the care. Even the hurt that you've gone through with that person. And as much as the gym's good, just make sure even if you get a notepad and just write down your emotions of the bad, the good, and then focus on the good points within yourself in that relationship, and make sure you bring them forward and not anything that you experienced that was bad, to try and learn from it. And then you might actually find that relationship needed to fail to find what you were meant to find.
Yeah, no,
That's how, and I had to learn that after.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I like that.
Because I do like friendships, relationships, families. It is a form of grief upon yourself. How someone treats you is upon them. How you treat yourself and how you treat others is on you. So you need to grieve for yourself.
Yeah, no,
that's kind of what.
Yeah.
From what I've experienced recently.
Well, for you, Chelsea, and for you, Scott, you're like way down the path compared to Jack.
Yeah, nah.
So you have hindsight, and right now he's in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
So if I was in the exact same point, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm listening to you. Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I need to do, right? And then later on, you'd be like, oh, okay.
That's
maybe
not far off what I said, was it? As in,
Yeah.
I can only tell you because I'm that further on.
Yeah.
You need
At the
to-
very beginning. Yeah, at the very
you need to get the
beginning.
frustration
And
out
I've done the
first.
bit, similar to bit to I didn't do the writing, that I could look back when the pain kind of dulled down a bit. Well, yeah, I can see a point with certain things and obviously taking the right things
I
forward.
think it's so much a point about how they saw you. It's about how you saw yourself in that situation. Because sometimes we do things and we might see it as we're cruel to that person, but then when you look at it, there was a reason why you acted out a character. So it's knowing yourself more than knowing the person that you've lost.
Yeah.
I feel, but it is, you have to go through that emotion of,
Sure.
of
you're on a journey.
of
I think-
knowing yourself.
Yeah, I think. Do you know
It's
what? I think
hard.
the best thing I've got out of this so far, which I knew straight away, was I knew my potential. I knew what I'm capable of doing physically. You know, and I think the pain I've gone through, genuinely, I'm not even joking, has been the toughest thing ever. Like we talk about these comments on TikTok, right? Because eventually, one day in my life, I'm going to be on stage and I want to talk to hundreds of people. I want to be, an unbelievable motivational speaker. And for me, if someone's like, you know what, mate, I don't like your work. Like, you said this wrong. I don't. Cool. Like, your comment is not going to make how I've just felt 7 weeks ago. I can't get any worse than that. You know what I mean? I cannot get any worse than the state I've been in. So why should I be scared of failure? I don't care about someone's comments or someone's attitude, because nothing out there can physically make me worse than what I've just gone through. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that's also to do with age and wisdom in the world? Because do you think if obviously you was a little bit younger, so obviously like we touched on the subject a little while ago about kids giving up on certain things because it's easier, and obviously I pretty much after Daniel's comment, I find now, and even some of the comments on the thing is, it's to do with the way you are at life at certain times, because you think you're going down this one path and certain things happen. And I'm kind of a bit of a believer that things are happening for a purpose or to make you into a different kind of person. But in your next relationship, you've kind of taken what Chelsea said, bringing forward the positive sections into that. Like even kids, if you could take out the positive, knowing what you've experienced, and go, look, this is, give you the positive bit, knowing in probably 5 years' time, you're going to think completely different. You see the world different. You treat everything around you. So like if you were 15 to where you are now in a breakup, it's...
No, I get what you're saying, but I wish the pain I had 7 weeks ago, whatever, whenever it was, I wish I had it when I was 15.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's harder
feel like
because
it's
when
too-
you're older, you're alone more. Because when you're 15, you can call your friend and go out, and you've not got work, you've not got responsibilities. But when you're older and you're dealing with these emotions, and as well when you're younger, you can kind of talk to your mum and dad about it, or uncles, aunts. As when you're older, you kind of feel very trapped because you don't know if the feelings you're feeling
You don't
are
want to admit
actually...
it that it's gone wrong.
Yeah, because you're left alone to deal with it. So it is coming to terms with it all. And it's not easy. I don't think any kind of relationship.
How would you deal with it, Daniel?
It's just time, unfortunately. And I think for me, when I've ever had to go for a breakup, I miss the family the most. Because the problem is like you start intertwining your lives together. Their friends, their family, and then there's like their sister has a kid or something, and then that kid's like, you're like, oh, it's Uncle Dan, and all of a sudden you never see him again. So sometimes it's not always just the person, it's everything you did. It's a bit when you went to New York, well, do you want to go to New York again with someone else? You went to New York with them. Those sort of feelings, but then you're punishing the next person. And this is another thing, and I said this to my friend, that they've been dating, and they said, oh, I've got more of a wall up. I was like, okay, that's fair. But the next person is getting punished for the person before. So they're not getting the best version of you. They're getting a version that's half, a quarter. And it's really, and that's why a lot of people find it harder to find relationships later on, because we're not as willing to just give it away as we were when we were like 20. Mm-hmm. Now we're like late 20s, 30s, 40s, and we're like guarded, right? By doing that, we're giving the next person not the best version of us. And I think like if we can try and let go, yes, in time, we'd feel a lot better, and then other people's walls will be down and yours will be down. Yes, you will get hurt or you might not, but it's the whole way of just learning. And imagine, for both of you, but all of us, that the reason that your relationship that you thought was your everything failed, but in 3 years' time, the person you meet then is your everything. How are you feeling then?
Hard to imagine at the moment.
Of course, because you're way too close to it.
Yeah,
you're so close to it.
The cut's still open.
You're not even healing. It's like it's not even. You know what I mean? It's so there. You cannot think that. So you're just learning to swim, which means drowning. Mm. That's all it is. And then you forget, and then you can like, oh, I can just swim now. I'm fine. Mm. But
he's in the waiting room at the A&E trying to. He's not even got to the bit where he gets...
Not even got a ticket yet.
Yeah, he's still in the queue.
Waiting 7 hours to be seen by the NHS.
Can we swap it around just a little bit? Because I feel like, we've gone quite hard in because we haven't come back for a very long time. Is there anything that you're grateful of right now? Like in the space of this month of August and stuff like that, is there anything right now in your life that you feel like you're kind of grateful for? I will start first because it makes it very easy, because then you can kind of go off what I'm sort of saying. But I've been really grateful. Do you know, it's weird. I just by accident just wrote a song, right? And just very small, tiny 30-second thing. I put it on my Instagram, and I just put it out. Didn't really care about it. And then my godson, Alfie, his name is, who's 13, 14 this year, and he went, "Really like that, mate." I was like, "What?" He said, "No, I really like it." I was like, "Oh, cool." He's like, "Are you still doing more?" I was like, Yeah, I am. And just that little thing, like, you know, when you think like no one cares what you're doing, no one cares, and then like this little kid you've known since they were a baby, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, I like what you're doing." You're like, "You've never said anything nice ever to me."
You feeling all right?
Yeah, you know, but like just those little reaches out, like me just doing something really throwaway, just stupid, and then that traction just came back and. As a way to interact. He didn't have to. If I didn't do that, he wouldn't mess with me. I wouldn't know. You know, he was like, "Oh, yeah, I like your other stuff as well." I just didn't say it before. So I feel like those little moments with people just popping into your life, sending you a message, going out for that walk, meeting someone, meeting the cutest dog that you've ever seen in your entire life. Like a deer came literally right towards me at work yesterday. I was like, "Oh my God, it's a deer." You know what I mean? Like, I've seen a deer before.
Yeah.
But like that's what I'm just thinking. Is there anything right now? You can do this at home, that you're kind of grateful for like, and I know what you're probably going to say.
What?
I'm going to say maybe your kids.
No, not actually. I'm going to say people.
Oh.
Similar to yours, really. I think considering everything's been a bit messy for me, not just the court, there's been a lot more other stuff going on that I don't really want to talk about. But
we're doing another episode.
I feel like it's also shown me the true people that are actually there to show me genuine support. And because I speak to my friends a lot about when you're in a negative mindset, the amount of people that can feed off that. As in, I feel like now I've got quite a good mindset. I don't want to be fed with negativity. I want people that are going to say basically kind of what Jack has said to me, you know, like bad things happen, but just work on it. And when you've got good people that are doing the same around you, it does...
Surround yourself.
It helps
with the right
you
people.
because you realise you're not. Yes, you're alone maybe in that situation, but you're not alone in life. So you know, I just I'm trying. I mean, last week, as much as I felt crap, I had 5 new clients, which is the first time I've had a whole 5 new people come in my house that I've done nails for, which to me was just a massive achievement. I've then gained more friendships with them. So I just feel like it's opened my eyes to certain friendships, the people that are genuine in my life and they like me for me, not because I'm going through something that they can talk about.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
You're not the gossip part of the relationship.
Yeah.
I like that. Jack, do you have anything right now?
Well, obviously, I've always cherished my mates. Like I've always, you know, I'm out all the time with them. Like, I've got so many different friendship groups, and all my boys, all my mates have been so supportive over the last, you know, month or so. They know I always love them, but I do every day. I'm not going to sit there and go my mates because that's the obvious answer. But no.
What about the gym?
I've always loved the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always pushed myself. Like I said, you know. Earlier, you know, I think I've almost unlocked this new mentality that I thought I had, but now I realise how far away I was from it. You know, I want to do, like I said, I want to do some huge things in my life, huge things to help people promote, or to promote onto people that you know you should really go after what you want in life and not be scared of it, not be scared of the challenge, the risk, the adventure, and push yourself physically and mentally to get what you want, and it'll be worth it in the end. And now I feel like I've unlocked this ruthlessness, like ambition to go after and get it now, because I feel I've had a lot of purpose in my life taken away. Yeah, I know it sounds quite, but it's true. And I'm still here. I'm still, you know, doing my training. I'm still going out with my mates. So like, yeah, I don't know. My mentality's changed a lot. But yeah, that's it. That's nothing else really.
You could just say us if you wanted to.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, you guys. Yeah. It's the new studio. Yeah.
There we go, new studio. Scott, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for my kids understanding that when my mental health is bad, how to pick me back up, and that I'm proud of the fact that they accept me for when I'm having a bad day. They don't judge me, and they know how to deal with me. That's what I'm grateful for, that I've managed to bring up my children, in the sense of that they know they can be complete idiots and they think they're the white boy and all the rest of it, but when it truly matters, they know how to come together and pull it together without having to be complete idiots.
That's nice. I like that. I just thought, like, you know, sometimes if we do go into the darker side of our lives and stuff like that, that we also need to sort of slightly think about the other side of our lives as well, and some things to be relatively, even if it's the smallest thing, even if it's just like you saw a really lovely bumblebee, you know what I mean? Like, and it sounds stupid, but you know, a butterfly flew into my my house and just landed on my kitchen top, and I was like, oh.
No, all I got is a fly at the moment. It just won't leave me. It keeps dive bombing, so I know I'm not happy. Every time you sit, you think you've got rid of it, and it keeps. You'll be sitting there watching TV.
It's annoying because they only literally live for a day, so like it's so.
No, this thing, I swear to God, it's been there for a week. Annoying, unless he's had babies and his son's come over to get me, like passed it on. Go and get that idiot.
They make new ones.
Yeah.
Did anyone hear the quote that the Rock put out the other day?
Oh, one day or day one.
Yeah. Oh, all right, give it away.
Sorry, straight in there.
You know that joke? Yeah, the end of the joke. Oh, damn it.
Yeah. We can edit that out.
No,
I have no idea what you're on about.
Yeah,
right, what was it?
Have you ever heard of the...
Who's the Rock? Who's the Rock?
I will come back to that conversation very quickly, so we'll just edit... No, we won't. But I was actually asked to go to a kid's school, and they said that Daniel Johnson was going to their school, and then the kids got it wrong, and they thought it was Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and they were so gutted it was
I would have been...
So like, shave, go bald, and get some fake tattoos.
I'll just bring him in. It's fine.
Could, actually, yeah.
Just bring him in.
If I had the... Yeah, no, if I was
Rock
in school, I thought it was the
Joe
Rock.
Rogan
You said that black.
No,
boys,
so
come down the park. I've got the Rock coming, and you rocked up to the social club. Could you imagine black?
You know, that's got to be your Halloween outfit.
There are some people that would love me there. Don't worry, compared to them.
Oh yeah, 100%. But not if I think, I guess who's coming.
The older ladies,
yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
No, the Rock quote that he had was, he goes, "One day, or day one." So one day, I'll do that, or day one, I start today.
I've never heard that actually. Oh yes,
Never heard it.
No, it's good.
Kai, you best be good at editing.
No, don't edit that out.
That's
Keep
fine,
that in,
yeah.
please. It's fine. Which is quite nice. I thought that was quite a nice little thing.
Yeah, because
like,
I find everyone does that with the diets as well.
yeah,
It's Friday
one day,
today.
yeah.
I'll do it. I'll start Monday.
Monday.
No, day one. Yeah.
But I like Muhammad Ali's version of that. He goes, don't count the days, make the days count.
Ooh.
So sorry, Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah,
I
well, someone did
prefer
it. So
Muhammad
yeah,
Ali's.
yeah. Muhammad did it better.
Are we all trying to think of quotes here? Hang on. Just
No,
get
'cause
on with it.
We'll have thought of the day soon anyway, so it's we have that to think about. It's all good.
So, any more quotes we want to come out with famous people so we can hashtag it in the right place?
Can I ask you a question? All of you, actually. So, Michael Jordan, you would think, what would you think? Just one word.
Basketball,
Yeah, cool. Tiger Woods.
golf.
Yeah. Lionel Messi.
Who?
Football.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Second best. What did you say?
He went, who? It's football. Who?
Plays for Barcelona, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, you
He's
see,
the
yeah.
second best player in the world. Yeah.
Second. Oh.
Come on.
Good
Let's
old
not
Messi.
kid ourselves.
are we going to push the other podcast here?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is the
yeah.
right moment.
Sensible football talk, if you want to. That's fine. Now, if I said Scott Allen, what should come to mind from that? What would you think about?
God.
Just God. A God. Oh, you're doing the wink again. As
God
well.
of gods.
Dog spelled backwards.
Now you sounded like my mum. That's exactly what she said if I'd come back. That's exactly what my mum. You mean dog?
Yeah. What do you reckon? Because I would probably say, in my mind, I would say doorman or bouncer, because that's kind of what I knew you from doing. And I think most people in town or Reading would probably know you through doing that.
Yeah.
And then, what about you?
Oh, yes, come back, mate.
I'd probably say blue eyes.
Blue eyes.
Yeah, because everyone knows them. The bouncer, it would be like, oh, what?
Oh yeah, well Scott. Yeah, definitely.
All dead, blue eyes.
Blue eyes. Blue eyes. Blue eyes. Chelsea, what about you?
What?
What defines you? If someone said Chelsea, what would they say? Not what you would like them to say. What would they say? Like I just gave you sports people and stuff like that, but you instantly would say one thing.
No.
What would you say for Chelsea?
Happy.
Happy.
From obviously being dormant, obviously every time we would see her, she'd always have a smile. Whether obviously now knowing what was going on in the background, you would never have known the face or the front. Is that the right word you put on when you were out with thing? You would never
I am
know.
very smiley.
Yeah,
I've got very two sensitive sides of me. But I actually won a reward for being the most smiliest person at primary school.
Oh.
And I was getting bullied all the time. But I guess I was just smiling.
So I wasn't far off.
Fine. I would say, because obviously you're new into my life, I would say nails, because that's one of the things that you kind of do, you showcase, and actually gives you a nice distraction. So I that's what my mind. So and for you, Jack, I probably would say maybe gym, but then I also would say like maybe football, because when we talk, we normally talk football. It's such a thing that guys don't normally do.
For him,
Yeah.
whoa. Real men's talk rugby. This whole referee about my ankle.
I'm going to say real men.
Women's football
Real
is
men
much better than men's football right now.
And most men, do you say real men's fine? Most men talk football. I'm just saying, right? Most men will talk football.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now, even in that situation, who cares if you don't? But it's just a really quick shorthand for us to be like, how you doing? You know, good. So, the Arsenal game. That's what we do straight away.
Well, we're pretty sure we've done that today.
Yeah, we did. 100%. Instead of asking like stuff like that. So that's what I'm just I was just thinking, like, what does your name equate to what other people see you?
So originally, if you said him, I would have said Body Zone.
Okay.
Instantly, because of
Yeah.
like where I met him.
Everyone's is different as well. You know what I
Literally,
mean?
your one,
Oh, mine.
your
What would you say?
one would be, I don't know, Laguna or Penta.
Is that what you think of?
No, when obviously because but till them points.
Well, that's how we
You'd
met.
only ever seen you on TV. But
Yeah, but
obviously
when-
that didn't.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like
you weren't watching those TV programs, were you? You weren't watching
No.
I
those?
would say X Factor.
You would say X Factor.
And I don't think Daniel remember, but I actually saw him years ago in Lola Low. And
Oh.
my friend was obsessed with you, and I had to take loads of pictures of you and my friend. And I was just like, it's just Daniel, because I'm not one to.
Was it
be
my
like,
was it my birthday?
I don't know.
Because I didn't go there. It's true. It was just me. I'm just this
Yeah.
guy in Lola Lows in Reading. Who cares? Because I wouldn't sit
It was
in
like
VIPs.
years ago.
I wouldn't go to
Oh,
VIP
well.
because there's VIP upstairs, and they'd be like, "Would you like a VIP?" And
No,
I
it
was
was near
like,
the bar.
and I was like, "No."
downstairs.
And they're like, "Why?" I was like, "Is there anyone else up there who's a VIP?" They're like, "No." I was like, "Well, then it's the same as down here. Then, like, it makes no difference."
That's the one thing about you, I would say, is you're not, considering the journey and the life that you've had in different ups, downs, X factors, and obviously you're not and applies to be a knob.
Oh, I am.
You're a little bit of a diva,
It's different.
but I don't think that would matter if you were on X Factor or not. That's just you as a person.
I don't think my friends overly allow me to be. I think with your friends, like
They
if you get
ground you a
above
lot, I think.
Yeah, I remember I came out of the show. Obviously, this is so long ago. I came out of the show. I went and played five-a-side football on the Monday. So I did all my press that I need to do on the Monday, and I went and played five-a-side football with my mates because that's all I wanted to do at Reading University. And the first time the ball hit my foot, my mate went, "Still shit at football, though, aren't you?"
Oh yeah. Oh, don't. Yeah.
Top boy, still shit at football. But do you not feel like that grounded you a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I needed.
Oh, yeah.
I was like that, and I was just like, I could cry, mate. I could cry because I was just like, all I dreamed about. There's an element your dreams and aspirations. If you get anywhere close to it, then all you want is normality.
Mm-hmm.
You want the opposite. The grass is never greener. So you might be part of a massive TV program that everyone who watches it knows your name, but to your mates, you just want to be like, just please be normal.
And I think your mates do. I think
That's quite sweet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, me and my mates have this thing where like we'll go out, and if anyone is wearing anything new, whether it's a pair of trainers, a hat, jacket, trousers, regardless if we like it or not,
yeah, you got to rip
we
each
just
other.
go, "What on earth is that?"
I'll wait for the episode of me and Scott in his shirt.
They had a nice shirt on.
He had a go out shirt. He was going out
For the podcast,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit weird. Or wedding. I just couldn't tell.
or going to the snooker afterwards.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good. But our friend Garen, when obviously he introduced me to his mates, the bits and pieces, the very first was all like a barbecue, and they were tearing chunks out of each other, literally.
But that's how
about
we
their
say hello.
hair. And I was like, are you boys friends?
Do you like me?
and they were like, yeah. And these boys would do anything for each other, but they were literally going to town on each other. Any opportunity to have a dig at them. Yeah, mate, what is that phone? And they would honestly, they would tear
Is
chunks
it
out of each other.
different? Because it's when I'm with my mates that are straight, then that's what they're like. But my gay mates and girls, not like that at all.
See, I feel like my close friends are a bit. One of my friends I don't think I could have banter with, but my other two, like my friend that's over 11 years, we're like, you're right, ho bag, you're right, slut. Like, we're just really like
Yeah, that's
brutally horrible to each other and to most other people, really. No, I'm joking.
I think sometimes just being mean, I'm mean to two different people. I'm mean to the people I like, and I'm mean to the people I don't like. It's very different, but it's different versions.
My mum's always said
one
to
to their
me,
face, I'm mean to, and that means I love you, and the one behind their back means I don't like them.
my mum always says if a true person that's genuine with you will tell you how it is without you feeling upset. So your friend could come up and tell you, because a stranger could come up and tell you the same thing as a friend, but you might take it more offence because you're like,
Yes.
It all depends on the relationship, because obviously certain things. Like I rang him yesterday, hello, and he was like, "That's good, well done." And like you go to your dad or something. And you
I did feel bad.
Like a real, which I get it, you're
Yeah.
bang on right. But I was like, and he was like, "Yeah, when we get the million, we're having a party." I was like, literally going to your mum and dad and going, "I've done this, so well done." Well, that was only a
true.
B. You were supposed to get an A.
And do you know, in some way, does that make you want to get a higher?
Oh no, I'm determined to get to a million.
Video.
But I guarantee you, in the moment I get a million, you go, "Oh well, yeah."
No.
Where's the five?
No, but we didn't set a quota to get 100,000 video. And if we did, I'll be like, okay, we did that. If we did it by accident, we didn't do it. If we now say, right now we'd like to get a video that can have 1 million on, which is massively achievable.
If I get 1 million views,
We collectively.
Yeah,
all of us. So are we doing this combined?
I don't care. If anyone gets on this platform 1 million, we're all clapping. We're all
So
saying,
then, if we get that,
yeah,
right,
we're all going to Lola
because
Lowe's.
obviously we've now got
I
this.
was gonna say,
No. I've got a better one. We put a jacuzzi in your courtyard.
What? Okay. What? Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
You want to
Do
see
you
his
really
house?
think I'm going to get in a jacuzzi with you three men? So that means I don't get any benefit out of it. I'd have to.
No, you come. You get to use it by yourself. If you can bring your friends around, it's fine.
I'm going in first. then.
Go in first. God. I don't want a jacuzzi.
Me and my
Stop
mate-
this.
Not
happening.
I just wanted to see if I could make it go viral, because
Well,
I
I'd
know
say-
how badly you don't want that jacuzzi.
I don't know a jacuzzi. Anyway,
So what are we? Well, hang on. Before we wrap this up, because
Yeah.
we need to wrap it up. What are we going to do if we get 1 million views?
I don't know. We'll come. Why don't you tell us at home? What do you reckon we
Yeah.
should do to celebrate if we get 1 million views on one of our videos? It can only, the video only has to be like 10 seconds long. I think the one that we got 100,000 is only about 25 seconds.
Yes,
And
it
be
is.
sensible with your answers, please.
Yeah, be sensible. Or not. Or we'll read them out. We'll read them out.
We'll have an episode just where we
have
read
like a
out.
calendar or something.
One podcast on how what everyone's and we're actually going to do that. If they're really silly, we're going to call you out
Yeah.
on Facebook and Instagram. Your name,
Facebook. How old are you?
TikTok.
Right. Thought of the day. Where are we going? Who's going first? Scott? You got anything? It is what it is.
No,
You haven't done it for ages.
Until it isn't.
things can be achieved.
Things can be achieved.
Wow.
Is your thought like that?
I didn't think. we'd
Chat's
be
going to
set
come
it
with
on.
something from Nietzsche in a minute. So like Chelsea, have you got any thought of the day or thought of the week
Yeah,
or
just like find an emo, just keep swimming.
just keep swimming?
I see that was better
I
than mine.
like
Everyone's
that.
is always better than mine.
That was everything. It's pretty easy to beat. I still
was,
like
yeah.
yours, but I guarantee. What was it? I knew you wouldn't remember. Jack, what are you saying? Any thought of the week or?
Are you living to exist or are you existing to live?
That's deep.
That is deep.
Finding Nemo was like, all right. Then you go, "Ree, wallop." But that was very good.
This is a thought-provoking one that was the first thing I wrote actually. Which is, if you want to offend someone, tell them the truth.
You do that weekly to me.
I know. Because people don't want to hear it. That's true. Including myself. It's great to have everyone back, isn't it, Scott?
It is, and obviously there's lots more coming up after the break.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just fancy putting a break bit.
Why?
in there,
Now we come back from a break just at the end.
Back to the studio.
Yeah, it's fine. Chelsea, you're going to be coming back into studio and a new studio with some new guests coming up soon, yep?
I hope so.
Yes, that's a yes. Jack,
So if you want to
must
be a
have
guest-
many people as well.
No, I do.
Yeah, so if everything goes according to plan, I'm recording 2 next week. I've got a friend of mine called Josh Hills, who's on Instagram, who's a very good nutritionist. I used to work with him at Broadmoor as well. And then if I can pull it off, I'm hoping to get a future UFC fighter
Oh, wow.
in the studio. Talk about mindset, stuff like that. Yeah, so
Watch this space.
watch this space.
Yeah, we'll be back. Thank you so much. Thank you for being honest and open on whatever this podcast is called.
And keep going on 1 million views.
There we go.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.